Water everywhere, up my nose, in my mouth, filling my lungs. As I peeled open my eyelids, salt stung my eyes. Flailing my limbs, I felt like I was spinning in a washing machine. Gasping for breath, all I got for my efforts was another gulp of water. Where was I? A few shapes passed in front of me, but the water was too dark to make out what they were. Sharks? Panic set in as I couldn't seem to remember how in the hell I'd gotten into water in the first place. My lungs burned, my energy was flagging, and all I could do was stare helplessly into the murky depths. Then a memory crashed into me. I was watching some survival show, and the host said if you found yourself underwater and couldn't figure out which direction the surface was, then watch the bubbles rise. I burped out what was left of the air in my lungs and watched the bubbles drift above me. I struck out that way, muscles screaming, just as some long rope-like object passed in front of me. I hesitated, but it was gone as quickly as it had come. After what felt like hours was probably only a few seconds, the top of my head breached the surface. I gagged and sputtered, a mix of coughing up the water in my lungs and inhaling as much air as I could. Treading water, I gazed around me at the dark sky. A few stars and a large moon provided enough light for me to make out the shape of a few objects bobbing on the surface near me. Was there a shipwreck? But I had never been on a ship. I knew because I would have been seasick. The last thing I remembered, I'd been at my friend's house dog-sitting. And now I was here in the ocean. What the hell? I lived in Ohio. I spun around in a circle, desperate for something to hold on to. A piece of driftwood, a barrel, a door a la Titanic. My eyes caught on something large, and I struck out toward it. I was nearly there when the object moved, twisting around until two large orbs caught the light of the moon. I cried out, catching a mouthful of salty water as a mouth hole opened in a V-shaped face, revealing sharp teeth. "There you are," it said. But the audible words didn't match the formation of the mouth. My head pounded, and my heart dropped into my feet. A clawed hand wrapped around my wrist, and I screamed. "She's here!" the creature called out and tugged me toward a small grouping of the same things, all bobbing on the surface near what looked like a shredded piece of styrofoam. "Please," I whimpered, tugging at the creature's grip as its claws dug into my wrist. "Signal sent," said a voice from the grouping of creatures. "Rescue should be here soon. You will receive a commendation for recovering the shipment." Shipment? Wait, was I the shipment? What? Where are we? I choked out. The creature holding my wrist turned and narrowed his glassy orbs at me. "You don't ask." Suddenly a long fleshy tendril rose out of the water, and I spotted large tentacles lining the underside. Dozens more tentacle arms launched out of the water, sending salty spray into my face, and the grouping of creatures began to holler and hiss in panic.